It's time to podcast.
Under our bed.
In 2022.
Woo!
It's a new year, people.
It's here.
It is here, and we're going to talk about the future.
How fitting.
Sally's favorite subject.
I love the future.
Do you?
It depends on what future we're talking about.
What does your future look like?
My future looks like...
It looks beautiful. I know that.
Like just a peaceful, wonderful place.
Like you sitting by a peaceful stream doing
Sitting by the fire.
Sipping champagne. Have you ever tasted champagne?
No,
Be honest.
I have not actually.
Oh, Sally, either
I
have
know.
What's wrong with us?
Well, maybe that's our future.
Well, I hope you toasted. Really? Okay.
I'm guessing it's not. But...
It might be. I hope you toasted to the new year, though, and your favorite way to do it. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve, and here we are in 2022. Let's talk about the future. This has been a topic of conversation around our house a lot lately.
It certainly has. Jeff is very focused on the future.
Hey, I'm starting a new company.
It's not just this year future. We're talking, he's dedicated to the future.
Like the next decade.
The next decade. Absolutely.
Isn't this typical of who I am?
Oh, yeah. You're always looking to the future.
I'm always looking forward, right? And looking to the future.
Yes.
So this shouldn't be new or surprising.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a visionary kind of guy.
That is for sure. Yes.
And yeah, I've been working on a new startup. It's called Hit Piece, Music NFTs. I haven't really spoken about that publicly until the last couple of weeks. But so that has made me think a lot about the future in the next year and dig into a lot of these things that we're hearing a lot about: Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, Web3, et cetera, et cetera. It's really piqued my curiosity.
Yes, it has. You've been doing a lot of research.
And our kids have loved it, haven't they?
Oh, they love it. They would just, they say, Dad, please tell us about the metaverse.
I'm kind of glad actually our kids don't like it. Maybe they don't want to go to the future. Maybe they'll stay.
Like it at all.
Maybe they'll stay in real life.
Yeah. Whenever Jeff starts talking about it, they're like, oh, Dad, and like, this doesn't even make sense. Who wants to live like that? And Jeff's always like, oh, good. I'm glad that you feel like that. This is what your kids are going to be dealing with. Keep them in reality.
Remember when we were their age?
Yeah.
And the internet didn't make sense?
Oh, my gosh. Well, when did you even hear about the internet?
I'm going to guess the first time maybe I heard about it was like in the mid 90s, like my freshman year of college when I first heard about it.
Yes.
But then it was like, I don't get what this is.
Yeah. What is this? I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. Tell me when it's relevant to me.
Yeah. And it's never going to be relevant. That's what people maybe thought. Yeah. Well, I think we're in the same space now with like cryptocurrency and the world is becoming more and more decentralized. Everything, our institutions, church, government, economies, corporations are becoming more and more decentralized, and COVID has accelerated this transformation. And we can pretend it's not coming. We can say, what's the internet? We'll never use that. But I bet you that everyone that listens to this podcast uses the internet daily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We could pretend like cell phones aren't going to be a thing. Remember that? Yes. Remember like in the late 90s-ish, I had a Nokia. I remember when I got my first like Nokia phone right after my mission. And it, it was just a brick phone. But I was like, why do I need a cell phone? I remember kind of thinking that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you didn't have your own cell phone until when?
A long time.
I mean, until like 2005 or I don't know, early 2000s.
But it was,
5 years after me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while after you. Yeah. But also, like, it was more common then, business. People had it for work, like it was and it wasn't as common for just the everyday person that didn't need it for work to have a cell phone.
It's always hard to look back and remember what it was like. Our oldest son is 20. When he was born in 2001, like cell phones weren't really a thing.
No.
And he doesn't remember that. No. He just thinks that, everyone's always had an iPhone. Didn't you always have an iPhone? I'm speaking generally because he didn't get his first iPhone until he was mid-teens,
13 or 14, yeah.
Yeah, 14. But It's always hard to look back. But remember, when we were their age, the internet was the future.
No.
And people didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Email. What is email?
I was going to say, I remember when I got an email address, I had to get one when I came to BYU. That was the first group they were giving email addresses to. And I was like, I'm never going to use this.
By the way, Sal, can you grab me my CDs? Can you pass me my CD? Remember CD? Like
we had
no idea of streaming.
Huge boxes of CDs down in our storage room that are just now collectibles.
Yeah, you didn't know about streaming. You're like, grab the CD. I'm going to put in our favorite U2 CD.
Yeah,
and
like, where's that CD? Oh, it's in my car.
Yeah.
I have it in my car.
I got to move it from my car to the house, to the office.
Like, oh, my goodness. Or watching a movie, like the DVD. Well, the VCRs. I mean,
Blockbuster.
We had VCRs.
Remember, we used to, when we first got married,
yes.
we would once in a while go to like Hollywood Video and rent something.
Yep.
We are old.
Oh, my goodness.
So the future's coming. Well, you can pretend like Web3, crypto, etc. is not happening. It's going to happen in some form or fashion. So, Sally, are you prepared? I'm going to give you a little quiz here.
Oh, great.
I've been talking about this for a year. What have you learned?
All right. I got to get ready. Here we go. Stretch out.
Cryptocurrency. Bitcoin. You've heard of Bitcoin.
I've heard of Bitcoin.
What could you tell us about it a little bit?
It is like money that's not physical.
Yeah, it's like a digital currency.
Digital currency, yeah.
And that's good. I like that. It is a digital currency, and it resides on what?
The blockchain.
Yes! You have been listening and learning.
Yes.
We just gave each other five. I don't know why this has turned into a game show. But maybe that's what our future is.
Fun.
What about a game show with Jeff and Sal?
Ooh, that would be fun.
You kind of were meant to be Vanna White.
Uh-oh.
I'm Bob Barker. You're Vanna White.
Yeah.
We should do a game show. Yeah, so the blockchain is a ledger. It's kind of think of it as a computer or the internet in the sky that creates a ledger of transactions on the blockchain in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So cryptocurrencies are digital currencies. They're not like physical monetary dollars.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking in our house a lot about NFTs.
Yes, we
Do you get these?
Non-fungible tokens.
Got it. See, you are prepared for the future. This is hilarious. I hope people like this. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, so how would you describe those?
Okay, so that's a little bit harder, but it's like digital collectibles.
Yeah, see, I like
digital collectibles, like things that you want to own, but it's not the physical thing. It's a digital copy.
Ah, love it, Sal. Like, so does that make sense to you that might be interesting in the future or no?
Kind of. Like at first I was like, I don't care. Who cares? Like this is what our 17-year-old son says too. Like, why would you want to own a digital copy of something when you can have the real thing in your hand?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt at first too. But I can see how the NFTs could become a lot more valuable even than the physical thing.
Ooh, why is that?
Because it's the same idea as DVDs or CDs, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. So now I'm like getting this.
It's hard to port your art with you. Like we have some art here in the studio. We're going to take these off the wall and just walk around, like here's our art collection.
I can see how it could be the thing, like you're at a business lunch or something and someone says, oh, hey, look at this new thing I bought, or whatever and you can show them. Whereas if you buy it in your house, I guess you could show them a picture of it, but you're not probably going to have a picture of it, like it's in your house.
Or at a party, right?
Or at a party.
Maybe not a business. You're at a party.
Lunch, but yeah.
And what you'll do is you'll just flip people your NFT. Like you'll flip from your phone, like here's a collection of some digital things that are important to me that kind of say who I am I'm talking about, maybe you do that. You just kind of flip them and you'll be like, oh, this is an interesting person to me, or we have similar interests, or we have totally different interests. I'd like to learn about these things, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
See, you're getting I like this. See, like you're getting it. I think it's helpful for people. They are hearing these words, but they're not understanding what they might mean. I think at least a rudimentary understanding is important, is cool. And so we've been talking a lot about it in our house because I want you, Sal, and the kids to kind of just think about, be prepared and just think about the world they're growing up into. Again, I think that the massive theme here is a decentralization of things. So kind of power back to the people. And that's the whole idea of Web 3. Web 1 was, pets.com. And this is when we were in college and the internet bubble and all these things that like just kind of didn't work. Everything broke. It didn't work. And then we went into Web 2, which is what we're in now with like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and et cetera, where large corporations own your data. Soon, I think, in the next several years, we will realize how interesting or unwise that may have been. We're kind of already understanding that. And we will take back, so to speak, our personal data. We will be in charge of our personal data and information. And again, there's a decentralization empowering people. We become sovereign individuals again, kind of in control of our own destiny, controlling our own information and data. And again, this is just at the very high level, scratching the surface of what Web 3 can be. That concept makes sense to you, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's needed, right? It's scary to see how you can scroll through social media and maybe I can't. Oh yeah. So Sally and I went and saw Jim Gaffigan a couple weeks ago. I think I was scrolling that night before I went to bed for a second on Instagram. I got like 3 at come see Ryan Hamilton, which by the way, we bought tickets. It worked. Come see. It was all about like comedians. That's a little scary when you go somewhere with your device and all your information, all the data, everything you're doing can be constantly kind of monetized by large corporations. We need to take some of that power back. We will take some of that power back. That is the trend of Web 3. That is the future of where we're going.
Yep, that's what people are working on already. So
yes, they are.
We're going there.
Are you optimistic about the future?
I'm always optimistic about the future.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about you.
Yeah, the future is always bright.
Have you heard of the term DeFi?
Ooh, I feel like I've heard you mention that, but I do not know what that
It's like decentralized finance. And that's kind of what cryptocurrency is doing, right? Instead of all the power sitting with these big banks, you're decentralizing the financial system via the blockchain through cryptocurrency, right?
Okay. Yep, I've heard that one casually mentioned, but
these are all words that people will hear. There are others like DAOs and other things, but we'll save those for another day. The future's coming.
It is.
And it's up to us really it can be scary too. When you think about AI and supercomputers and other things that we won't talk about today, but it can be daunting. It can be scary.
But I think it's important, when you're thinking about the future and talking about it, like you are, to realize that just because these things are coming, it almost feels like you don't have any control.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh no, like these things are going to be like placed upon me or whatever, like whether I want to be in it or not. But that's not really how it works. It comes slowly over time. And I think you kind of get used to it. It's not all of a sudden all these things are here at once and you're going, I'm in this world. I don't know how to navigate. It just comes slowly. And I think you have to keep your core you the same. And as long as you do that, you're fine.
Yeah.
You can live in the metaverse. You can, whatever.
That's one we haven't spoken of. And that's exactly what I was thinking. Keep going.
Whatever comes, like you're still you. You still have control over your decisions and how you react to things and how you look at things. So just be positive and take it as it comes and see the good in it and work with that and use the good to make people's lives better.
Amen. Like, absolutely. That's why I've been talking a lot about it. And that's why I'm digging in and why I've been talking to the kids about it, is because it's up to us to kind of shape the future. What we get to decide how we use these things, how these things affect our lives. It's hard because we decide personally.
Yeah.
That's one thing. We can decide as a family or a family unit, but then there's also just macro trends, right, in the world. So we need to be wise as humanity. We're fellow travelers on this earth. earth. Let's make sure that these things are formed up in the right way, in the best way for all of us.
Yes.
One of the exciting possibilities, I think, in the future is for the ability for the metaverse and other things to lift people out of poverty, to have more people be economically self-reliant. I'm speaking all around the world. By the way, we haven't talked about the metaverse. That is, how would you define them? If we're going to end up here.
I don't know. Okay, so have you seen Ready Player One?
Yeah, if you haven't seen Ready Player One, you should maybe watch it again. Yes.
I mean, that's how I've been told by you. That's the metaverse. It's like this
virtual
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, a virtual world.
That we will spend increasing time in probably in the next decade, because there will be a virtual world. Hopefully that world will be mainly good. Hopefully it will serve us and that we can learn there. And again, hopefully there'll be ways to lift people out of poverty in the metaverse, because it's a whole new world. It's a whole digital world. And cryptocurrency will be the currency of the metaverse of this new world. And hopefully there are ways that we can lift people up and help people there. What will be interesting about the metaverse, and Sal, you're exactly right, as always. You're like an old soul. Even though you're so young, you're like an old soul. You've got to hold on to who you really are in the metaverse, right? Because you can go into the metaverse and you can make an avatar that is either like you or like, I bet you my avatar won't be bald. Actually, maybe it will. But I haven't thought about this. He'll probably have a fro.
Probably.
Big curly blonde hair like I used to have when I was little.
Yeah.
Right? And so you can make your avatar however you want. You can kind of be, quote unquote, whoever you want. There will be a lot of anonymity as well. Privacy will be a big issue in the metaverse and in the future. How we deal with privacy and how we deal with bad actors around privacy, but also a lot of good people doing good things. The bottom line is you need, like you said, you need to know who you are, hold on to the roots of who you are, hold on to the principles that you know and believe in, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. And use the things that are becoming available to us to do good.
Yes.
To do good things.
Exactly. Just like the internet can be used for good or bad. And I'd say largely it's used for good in education and in business and in learning, et cetera, and in connecting people. There's also bad ways you use the internet. It's the same thing with all the new technologies coming along.
Yep.
Same story, different time. 2022.
Here we go.
Here we go. Buckle up, people. Let's have fun with it. I hope that under our bed, is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's
under
what
our
it's called.
bed.
You're right.
I was about to say under your bed, but it's not.
Oh,
under
no.
our bed.
It's our bed. It's not my bed. It's just my bed.
Hopefully Under Our Bed podcast is a part of your 2022 diet.
So.
I hope it uplifts you. I hope it makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love being
Hope
with
you learned something new today.
Yeah. Prepare for the future.
It's coming.
Here it comes. Good night, Sal.
Good night. Love you.
Please leave a rating and review for Under Our Bed at your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to the Extraordinary Us podcast with Jeff Burningham as well.
Hey guys, it's Jeff from the Extraordinary Us podcast. Thank you so much for listening to Under Our Bed with Jeff and Sal, my wife and I. We record from a studio literally directly under our master bedroom. It's a great little place for us to hang out and have conversations that I hope are meaningful to you. There's another podcast I do, if you have not heard. It's called The Extraordinary Us, where I interview people, many people that you have heard of from a variety of fields, and we talk about life. Coming up in 2022, we're going to talk about the future. What does the future of the world look like in regards to technology, cryptocurrency, governments, and other things? Can't wait to see you there. Hope that you'll subscribe to Extraordinary Us.